bring this up is that, all right, so Lil Baby, did he put it out? Did he put the album out? Or no, he's about to put it out, right? He's talking about it.
Yeah.
So Yachty has him on his podcast. Asked him everything under the sun. I'm pretty sure it has like 1 million views or close to 1 million views right now, right?
Sure.
Lil Baby also did Charlamagne. From what I hear, while Yachty's getting, 1 million views on his, Charlamagne's had like 30K. And then Charlamagne actually took it down.
Wow.
Which is kind of mind-blowing to me. I don't know. I'm like, in my head, it makes sense that he would have took it down because the views were pathetic in comparison to the one that Yachty did.
Yeah.
But that also just stands out to me as like a crazy inflection point for the culture where like Charlamagne, who I forget what number, but he's like top 5 most influential person in hip hop media, according to that Complex list. All of a sudden, regardless of if you agree with that or not, but all of a sudden, somebody like Yachty, who's got like almost no skin in the game, he's been like a content creator for like a year, he's able to absolutely blow Charlamagne out of the water in terms of views. That stands out as like, we're in a very, very new era in which like the legacy reputation that you've built up as a content creator can just completely pale in comparison to a younger rapper dude who just starts a podcast and is able to just have this cool conversation with him.
Rather listen to in the conversation, 2 label mates or Charlamagne and Baby? We seen this on Breakfast Club. How many times? Every time he drops an album, we have to see him on Breakfast Club.
Yeah,
I mean, before Breakfast Club. Well, I don't want to.
I mean, but for the kids, all right. Who wants to watch a Lil Baby interview? Primarily, it's gonna be like a very young audience.
Yeah.
Who's got a better relationship with the young audience,
Yachty.
Charlamagne or Yachty?
Yachty, they're dressing like Yachty. They
all those years of hard work that Charlamagne put in don't really mean much to the young ass audience that wants to see a Lil Baby interview and wants to see Yachty orchestrate it.
And here, I think it's just a bad timing thing. I mean, because I think a conversation between Yachty and Lil Baby would be cool, but if it's coming out the same day, like Yachty, obviously, like you said, that's a label mate, that's another artist, it's a whole different perspective. That's a way more interesting conversation.
Yeah.
If the interview would come out at a different time, that'd be cool. But on the same token, I'd rather see Charlamagne chop it up with
Ludacris.
Jadakiss. You feel me?
You know what I'm saying? And if it was Yachty dropping with Jadakiss and Charlamagne dropping with Jadakiss the same day, it would be vice versa. The numbers would be flip-flop.
Probably.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? It's just like, you thought you was cool with the YNs.
But then we live in a new era in which the bad publicity of having your interview get absolutely trampled by another content creator could be enough to make Charlamagne not even want the interview out there. Because I've been in that position many a time where I interviewed somebody. Oh, it turns out that somebody else interviewed them at the same time. Maybe they get the interview out first. Maybe that interview just happens to have like the viral clips, or they asked about shit that I didn't even think to ask about or whatever. Never occurred to me to take it down because I'm just kind of like, whatever. I put my shit out, and if they like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't.
Yeah.
But I mean, that is a bad look for somebody like Charlamagne if somebody like Yachty is able to get, 30 times the views in the same period of time.
I mean, and it might be a little bot pushing over there also.
We don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
But why the fuck would Yachty do that? Because I see Yachty, like every interview he does like very respectable numbers.
Yeah, and they're going to treat everything like the music. Why wouldn't they?
I love.
I mean, I'm not saying that it's all fake views. Yachty can get views. Yachty is like he encounters Yachty like they're the
influential.
Kids. Yeah, they're very influential. So it's like he can get the views. Are they running it through the same program as the music? I would not doubt it.
But okay, hour and 25 minutes. Yachty got 1.3 million views. But like, there's a lot of this. Wow, he didn't put out a podcast for 4 months after that one controversy. But
right.
I mean, Yachty does like really legit ass views. Like Cash Cobain, 265,000. Bro, I swear to God, Elliot did a Cash Cobain interview. They got like 5,000. Like,
did he really?
I'm pretty sure. Like,
wow.
I mean, it might have gone up a lot since he did it.
Wow.
80K.
That's
Okay, that's a lot better
but
than
that's still stupid low for, like,
it's still not quite what you would expect. Yeah, but I mean, there's like a line in the sand is being drawn between the younger content creators and the fucking older ones.
Is it really an age thing though? Because Joe Budden's still doing numbers. Act's not a spring chicken. You're not a baby.
But I don't feel like Joe has hit the part in his career where he feels like an old head, because as much as he is older, it's like he's still very controversial. He's gonna ask a bunch of like mixy ass shit. Well, but he wasn't always like that as an interviewer.
He was like,
but
well, his whole thing was being the old head. This is the guy that was telling Yachty, you're in a 360 deal and you don't even know the paperwork you signed. This is the same guy that was like,
well, that was like 7 years ago.
Yeah,
8 years ago.
But that's the beginning of his. Well, not the beginning, but that's like a seminal part of his podcasting arc. You know what I mean? People forget Joe Budden goes back. He was the first rapper besides Del the Funky Homo Sapien to have his own website and do direct to consumer sales. You know what I mean? Like, so Joe's been using the internet for many moons.
But don't you feel like, all right, like who's like a lit rapper that people would want to see interviewed? Oh, okay. If Gunna does Joe Budden's podcast and Yachty's podcast in the same week, I feel like Yachty's trampling him. But Joe has a huge built-in fan base, but I don't know. There's a lot of different ways to look at that.
But when you're talking about fools from Atlanta that are like already connected, like Gunna and Yachty, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It might, who would do more views? Boss Man D-Lo, maybe same thing, because like he's
Yachty washed Joe
sure.
when it comes to Boss Man D-Lo.
Yeah,
for sure. Kendrick, Joe's
but
doing
baby Yachty. I don't know.
no,
but
Joe's
Kendrick doing any
goats.
podcast would be such an event that it wouldn't matter. It's like both, because every person in hip hop is gonna watch both of them,
yeah,
or at least watch every clip that comes across their Instagram feed.
It's hard to like find somebody that makes even sense in the context of this conversation, because like you're right, like it seems like at the end of the day, it's what moves numbers is whatever the culture is fucking with. And if you're kind of like old and washed up and boring, like, and I'm not calling Charlamagne that, because I actually love Charlamagne's content, but like he might like I would much rather hear what he got to say to Yachty than Charlamagne. What's Charlamagne going to say to him that we haven't heard?